Hey there, it's Andy with Reverb, and today I want to help you find your perfect delay pedal. There are literally thousands of new and used options out there on Reverb, so I thought I'd just make it easy and break it down into some simple categories. And by the end, hopefully you could ask yourself, what do I need in a delay pedal? So let's start at the very beginning with analog delay. These use bucket brigade devices, and you don't have to know a lot about the circuit to know that a bucket brigade has a bucket go from one person to the next, and inevitably they're going to spill some water. In this case, it's your signal integrity, strength, and clarity. Other factors that go along with a bucket brigade device, such as aliasing and clock noise, usually means that an analog delay will have a lot of low-pass filtering going on, hence the warm character of these delays. Another thing to ask yourself is how much delay time you need, because that's always a factor with an analog chip. Usually it's going to max out around 600 milliseconds, and some earlier designs only go up to 300 milliseconds. Other simple analog delays like the Suhr are the AD9 from Ibanez and the Boss DM2. Or if you want to get into modulation, there's always the MXR Carbon Copy in both normal and bright versions, and the famous Electro Harmonix Deluxe Memory Man. Not long after the analog delay came out, you saw the digital delay in pedal format, and one company that would pretty much rule that category for decades, Boss. Here I happen to have the DD3, which never fell into that category of sounding thin or sterile like a lot of rack mount delays. So here's just a classic example of a digital delay without any coloration, no modulation, just a very true replication of what you're feeding it. Although digital is cleaner and gives you a lot more delay time, there's still some really cool quirks with it, especially on those faster delay settings that almost sound like reverb with a stutter effect. Besides the DD series from Boss, there's some other great straightforward digital delays out there, like the ARP87 from Walrus Audio and the TC Electronic Flashback Mini. So as digital delays got more advanced, you started seeing multi-mode delays come out, which tackled some of those earlier sounds like analog and tape without all the drawbacks. It gave you things like presets, which you can access with a simple stomp of a switch, and parameter adjustments not really available before, like wow and flutter in the tape mode. Also in this category, you get more control over your delay time with tap tempo and subdivisions. Other multi-mode delays with stereo options, tap tempo, and presets include the Empress Echo System, Strymon Timeline, and Source Audio Nemesis. Another thing you want to ask yourself is how you want to sync up to your other bandmates. Is it just tap tempo by ear by tweaking a knob, or do you want to use a DAW or drum machine? In this case, you probably want something with MIDI integration. Pedals like the Alter Ego X4 still have those old-style MIDI connectors, but you'll see a lot of pedals nowadays with either quarter-inch jacks like the Alexander Neo series, or a familiar USB port like this one from Red Panda. So getting back to digital, we've pretty much mastered replicating those old vintage delays, but some people like Strymon take it one step further and not only give you the sound, but the same experience and interface, like the Volante with its multi-tap switches. So here's a great example of what a multi-tap delay is, and I've turned off the feedback, so you're just going to hear every playback head repeat the sound once. Now here's where things get really interesting and sort of spaced out and pseudo-reverb-like. That's when you have feedback even just on one of the heads. This pedal also brings up a good point, and that's, do you need a stereo pedal? Are you playing through 1 or 2 amps? This one actually lets you pan different heads to different amplifiers for a really cool 3D effect. Other great examples of multi-tap delays are the Donner Prince Boonar, the Boss Space Echo, which mimics some of the quirks of the original, and of course the Catlin Bred Echo Rec. And for those players not looking for vintage tones, instead some modern sounds that haven't really been created yet, look no further than some stuff from Red Panda like the Particle 2. The Particle uses the idea of granular synthesis, basically taking your signal and chopping it into bits, or grains in this case, and rearranges them in no particular order. Plus it adds effects like LFO, pitch shifting, and reverse to these clusters or clouds of sound, creating some really ethereal soundscapes and glitchy delay tones. Some other examples in this category would be quite a few offerings in the Neo series from Alexander pedals, like the Radical Delay Deluxe and the Chase Bliss Thermae, which uses pitch shifting in the delay line. Well, hopefully that sheds some light on how to choose a delay pedal. For those of you that already have, be sure to leave some comments below and share your experiences and what features were most important to you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.